to say I'm proud of these guys, even though our record was only 2-6. But we played basketball the way the game should be played. This is, without question, our best performance of the season. We moved, we passed, we played good defense, shot the hell out of the ball, obviously. That's our biggest problem. We were the worst shooting team in the league in the regular season up to this point. But that's what we're capable of. I was aware of that. But just, really proud of the effort that the guys put forth. And we got off to a great start because of Andre here, and then Josh just had a super game. 9 for 11. The interesting thing about the stats is that we won the game, never scored a free throw. We didn't make 1 point from the free throw line, and we were trying to go ahead, and we did attack the basket. And I'm just proud of these guys for the way that they played to finish out the season. It would have been easy to just go ahead and write it in. The season's over. Let's go. Let's get our money and get out of here. But these guys have great pride, and we showed what we're capable of doing and the kind of basketball we can play, which we did for about 5 games before this in the first half. But just for some reason, we weren't able to go ahead and sustain it and play that way in the second half. We did it in this game, so it's a nice note to end on, and I'm just proud of these guys. Had a lot of fun together, and I'll leave it up to the 2 guys. And I have to throw it out there because Jermaine also did a heck of a job coming off the bench for us.
Well, all I'll say is, it's always rough when you're having not good of a season, but to finish off and hang your head high and just play as hard as you can. I only get to salute the guys next to me, and we just kept fighting. The ball didn't bounce our way this year, but we fought.
Yeah, and the most important thing for us tonight was just to come out with pride and play with effort. We would kind of be okay with the result. Fortunately, we got the win. We made some shots, but just proud of how we played tonight, but also how we played all year. We missed shots, we lost games, but guys came out and played hard all year. And thankful for the opportunity from the BIG3, from Ice Cube, for allowing us to come out here and still showcase our talents in cities that we played in.
Quick question for Coach. Da Vinci Wright with Out of Bounds Sports. What's the expectations for next year's team?
Well, obviously, depending upon what they do, if they make rule changes or something of that nature, you have certain guys that are on your team that are part of it that don't have to go into the draft, and then it's just a matter of choosing some other people to add to it. We've talked about a number of things. I'm going to campaign, as I did this year, to have our 6th guy be able to dress. I think it would have helped us in a number of games to have had Corsley Edwards available to go and bang Big Baby, and some of the other teams that have a big, strong guy, which we didn't really have, really hurt us. And if we want to, make it more competitive, having that 6th guy available would make a big difference. I think it would make it even more competitive, and the games would be even better. So I'll campaign for that. I thought that this season we had terrific crowds. It was great that Fox was putting the games on live. Even though we were on, the first game, because it's a long time to put you on TV when you have 4 games on the streaming with Facebook. But yeah, I think the league was definitely better than last year. We had a lot of new talent come into the league that was exceptional talent, and hopefully some more of the guys will realize it. I think the first year was experimental type of thing. Guys are just waiting to see what happened, and you had a bunch of guys come in. Hopefully more guys will come in and elevate the caliber of play, and have this be something that can continue to go on for a number of years. I know that I hated to give it up when I finally had to give up the game, and to have a chance to go out once a week if you keep yourself in good shape to do it, and have a chance to get the adrenaline flowing and compete like these guys compete, because they really do compete. And people ask me, oh yeah, they're going to go through the motions. I said, no, this is really serious stuff. In fact, it was so serious we had to go change the things of the rules because it was getting too crazy out there. They were so competitive. And I think we're finding a happy medium. So I'm really excited about what the future is, and hopefully Fox will want to come back and do it again, and we've got Adidas on board, and I think more and more people will join it, and the guys are doing a great job. The Junkyard Dog with the group that they're doing with the youth, BIG3 youth program that they have, with what Ricky Davis is doing, that we've gone out and fed people who are homeless, and we've provided food and stuff for them through his foundation, the Legacy Foundation. It's been great to see these guys, giving back. It's not just about these guys going out to play and make some money. They're doing a lot of wonderful things in the community.
Right.
Josh and Andre, can you just talk about the interest that may come from some players who aren't in the league just yet, how you may have necessarily heard from them or anything at this point?
I hear, a lot of guys is, wanting to play in it. It was a lot of guys that wanted to play in this year. It's just unfortunate they didn't get the opportunity because there's only a certain amount of spots, 19 spots It was like 150 or something, 80 or something like that to try it out. So it's just gonna continue to grow. So we're just gonna see.
Yeah, I think, year one, proof of concept. Year two, let's see if it's real. Year three, you might have, a few more guys come out and make their impact on the game. We'd love to see, a Kevin Garnett or Paul Pierce or Kobe or whoever, some really big name, star power type guys come out and play, because it's, it's a great atmosphere. It's a great opportunity for us as players to, bond. We're in the same hotels. We're, in the city for a couple days. So I know that a lot of guys miss that, and I hope that, we're able to sell that to them on just the viability of the league and the way that we can impact the community, but also the fact that this, the camaraderie of being around your boys again. And so that's what I'm hoping.
Coach Barry, being in Dallas, can you speak to the contributions from Deshaun Stevenson on your team, and not only from tonight being in a short stint, but also from the season?
Well, we got Deshaun because, he had a great season last year. I would have to say that Deshaun would be the first to admit and everything that he had a tough year this year. Didn't shoot the ball well. For whatever the reason being, I don't know. I think it seemed to me like, I don't know, you guys can tell me that his knees were maybe bothering him a little bit, and he wasn't moving as fast, but he wasn't shooting the ball as well as he normally shot. He shot 30% for the season from three-point range, which is not normal for him. He's a much better shooter than that. And so he struggled a little bit doing that. And we as a team struggled with that. I think it was an aberration. I don't think that we're that bad of shooters. Andre broke out of that, in this game, and had a great game. Deshaun had one game where that's the one game we won when Deshaun was really going and shooting the way that he's capable of shooting. So, so we just have to see what's going to happen, and that happens. Everybody goes through up and down periods. Offense is like a roller coaster ride. You got the top and the bottom, you're doing this. Defense is where you have to stay constant, and you can be more consistent. So those things happen, and we just happened to have a situation where we had a lot of guys struggle with their offense, and that's what really hurt us quite a bit. And we didn't shoot the ball well. Had we shot the ball well, I think we would have won at least 4 or 5 more games. And then we had a lot of bounces going away. But Deshaun plays hard, he does a good job, and just didn't shoot the ball well.
Coach Barry, you introduced Nancy Lieberman to the league last year.
Yeah, Nancy and I have been friends forever. I actually was working with her when she was getting into broadcasting, when I was doing broadcasting work in USA Basketball. My wife ran for 12 years, and so she was out there, and we discussed and talked a little bit about that, and so helped her when she was getting into her broadcasting career, and then wanted to bring her in here when we were here because of our friendship, and introduced her to Cube and brought her out to be an assistant coach with us when we were here last year. And it's great that they were able to bring her in and replace Clyde when he moved up to being the commissioner. And she's done a terrific job. She's up for one of the candidates for Coach of the Year. She's got that team playing really well, so it should be a fun game out there to see which team is able to come out victorious to play for the championship next week in Brooklyn. But she's done a great job. Nancy, she's just a great person. I say I've known her forever. She's out there working. She does a lot of great things. I do stuff with her charity. I'm planning on coming back next year for the big festival that she has, or the big dinner that she has. But she does a lot of great things, dedicating courts around the country, and she's great to have as part of it. Women are doing things. I look at Becky Hammond right down in San Antonio doing some things. And someday there may be a female coach as a head coach in the NBA. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Why not? They know the game. They understand the game. And Nancy knows the game. She loves it. She's out there. She's kneeling down. She's doing the things she has to do, and she's had experience. So I'm happy that she's a part of it, and she's been great for the Dallas community.
After having a struggling season, what was your mentality about going in and getting this win today?
Always hungry to win. You know what I mean? No matter what, we take winning like we take losing. You're gonna prepare yourself every day and every night to try to get better, and that's what you do, especially when you're a competitor. We just couldn't put our 2 halves together. We put one first half together, but we never could put our second half together.
Well, I think Josh said it earlier. It's the pride.
Yeah,
These guys have pride. These are professional athletes. The guys have pride in what they're doing. And I know that as a coach, I used to hate it when a coach would yell and scream, because there's no way he can't possibly be more upset with me if I did something wrong or lost the game than he is.
Exactly.
And it's the same with these guys. I know that they're more upset with themselves and not having won the basketball game, so I'm not going to scream and holler at them. I'm just going to try to encourage them, and I know that they're going to come out and play hard. And that's the one thing about these guys. They all played hard every single game. had great pride. I think it showed, tonight that they came out, and I think we had our best performance of the season for an entire game. And, I mean, look at what we shot. What did we shoot? 60-something%. I mean, it was like insane what we shot. 60-something% from the field and 40-something% from threes, and attacked the basket. And I even told Andre, I said, that the play I was proudest of him. There's a sequence late in the game when they made a switch and Boozer was in the game, and we had to do a switch. So Josh got screened off. They made a switch over to somebody to pick them up, and then the next thing you know, Andre came over from the weak side and came over and got on top of him as well. So we had great rotation, great conversations, great talks about what was happening. Well, basically it's just to play good defense and be talking. We had a couple times when we didn't communicate and they got some easy baskets, but when you communicate and you talk on defense and you make your switches and you pick the people up and just give them easy opportunities to shoot the basketball, you're going to have some success. Now, it doesn't matter even if you do that, if they're on. I mean, it wasn't going to matter what's going to happen the way that Andre was shooting the ball early on. I mean, you give him some space and he took advantage of it. You can play the greatest defense in the world. You don't block a shot, the guy can kill you. I mean, so we just played good defense. We didn't give him that many easy opportunities. We did a lot of good switching, and we moved and hustled and cut and did the things you have to do. Because here's the thing. It drives me crazy when I hear it on TV, especially ex-players saying it. He's a lockdown defender. Trust me, there's no such thing as a freaking lockdown defender. The only lockdown defender, you can lock down a shooter. You can't lock down a scorer. You can make a scorer work harder for what he gets, but you can't lock him down. This game, the skill of the players is so fantastic that if a guy's on his game, it doesn't matter. If you're not blocking his shot, he's liable to make you look very foolish, and he'll make everything. And that's what can happen. We did a good job of not giving them a lot of really good open looks, and then when they did have some of those looks, they didn't shoot the ball well, which happened to us in our games. We got a lot of good looks and we didn't shoot the ball well. And then we took some tough shots that cost us victories. They did the same thing. I thought they took a number of very difficult shots and they didn't make those. And as a result, they came out on the short end of it. So basketball is not a complicated game, but there's no such thing as a lockdown defender, trust me.
Coach Barry, going forward, 3-on-3 basketball, do you think more guys that have an isolation game could be drawn to the Big 3?
Yeah, but you don't want to be totally isolation. That's what I'm saying. We won because we cut, we moved, we did it. We didn't do all isolation. You can do some of that and go down in the post and do it. Andre does a great job of doing that in the post. Josh can make some good moves if he's not playing against some big guy that's going to beat him to death. But it's not, basketball shouldn't just be all one-on-one. You play better when you pass and you move. The Warriors are the greatest example of that. When the Warriors are at their best, and why they've won championships 3 of the last 4 years, is because they pass, they move, they cut, and they play the game the way the game was designed to be played. There's too much one-on-one in regular basketball. Here you're going to have a little more of it. You have to because of the situation. But if you do move and you cut and you pass like we did tonight, we got a lot of great looks because we had good people movement and we had good ball movement. And that's the way the game really should be played, I think, to make it more fun to play as a player and more fun to watch, I think, for me as a fan.